So I'm playing Insurgency Sandstorm on the PS4, obviously. I picked it up today. I decided that I needed something different than COD and Battlefield after playing both their betas and just being bored with the whole spawn die sort of, oh, can't hear someone's footsteps, he's standing behind me and he's killed me. How did I know he was there? I didn't. Entire thing. So I'm giving this a go. I've been attracted to it because of the ability to sort of you shoot someone and that's it. Um, so currently, what I'm showing here is in the firing range. I'm just sort of testing out the AI. See how I go against them. I haven't played a game against other people yet. That's going to be a schmozzle when I do that. Um, so that bloke there is the observer, and he'll help call in artillery on the smoke that I've got there. And as you can see, I haven't got my gun ready yet, and I'm already being attacked by people. So the interesting thing with this is that you've got to take your weight into account, what you're carrying, what's on your gun. So you've got to make sure that everything you're using is absolutely necessary to get the job done. As you can see there, my shooting was terrible. But it really should only take a couple of shots to take these blokes out if you're on fire with your shooting. Smoke's been called in, there it is, so that's going to sort of block what everyone's seeing, so I'm going to take the opportunity to sort of try and flank around. Realise I can't jump over this at the moment. So they're trying to attack up at the building where they last saw us. I kind of like that they're not going to automatically know where you are always. So you can get the drop on them if you want without them shooting at you. Someone's throwing a Molotov there. You can see how thick the smoke sort of gets as well. They can choke you as well. So you've got to be careful about if you're operating in the smoke that you've got your gas mask on or you've got one equipped. So he hasn't been too smart. He hasn't realised I'm there. I don't know if that's because the smoke's there or if it's just terrible AI or what. But he sort of copped it there. Now I thought the knife would work fairly well. Like most games, hit someone with a knife, that's it. But in this one, this bloke sort of like, come at me, bro. I don't care if you've got a knife. I've got a gun. And there we go. That was it. Really quick death there for me. So I have to reset everything up again. Now, as you can see there with my guns on my gun and what I've taken, everything's highlighted there. Everything's got a point cost. I start out with 31 points, which you can see at the bottom where it says resupply. I've added, and the weight up there is 61%. I did start at 57. I added a Desert Eagle instead of the gun that I had. A couple of things to the Desert Eagle. Gas mask, a knife, and binoculars to call in the artillery. So that's boosted my weight up to 61%. So I haven't noticed a difference between 57 and 61, but I'm assuming the heavier I get, the slower I'm going to be able to go if I'm wearing heavier armor and things like that. So a lot of those things you've got to take into account. And then the points that are left over, of course, your resupply. So when you go up to a box, I think it costs 14 points if you want to reload everything that you were carrying, and if you tap it, it costs you slightly less. I can't remember how many points. I think 4 points or something like that. So you must get a couple of extra clips to go on with. Before, when we were shooting, you might have noticed that there was no way of telling how many bullets you had. You have to actually hold down a button to bring up that to see how many clips you've got left, how many bullets are in the clip that you're using. So you're better off just using a whole clip and running out of bullets before you have to reload. Otherwise you waste bullets by throwing them out with the magazine. Not sure of the class here as well. The range master gives you a few extra clips, I think, and some explosives, I think. I haven't checked the other classes out yet because I'm still just sort of fiddling around with it. When I was playing here, it was, probably 20 minutes old sort of thing. So yeah, you've got to be really careful with what you take. You don't want to be too heavy. You don't want to be too vulnerable by being really light and fast, but not having any armor or something like that. Because remembering, once you get hit, that's it. You're done, sort of thing. So, and I think that's not going to make much of a difference either when you've got heavier armor on too. You might last a couple more shots, but if you've been caught, you've been caught. So at the moment the sound is funny. I'm not sure what the deal is there. I've noticed that a couple of times. I've got it on full burst. The D-pad comes into this a lot, R1, L1, to choose what you want to select. right now, because I'm aiming, if I press the left button on the D-pad, I would go from that 2 scope to the scope that's in front, or the reticule that's in front for a closer engagement. I'm not going to do that though, because I don't need to there. Got to reload, so you can see there the bottom right hand corner, holding square down, and now I'm ready to go again. So you've got to be really careful about where you run out of bullets and what you're going to do and who's around. If you've got teammates and stuff, I suppose they can cover you while you're in cover getting a new magazine in, but you don't want to be caught, I don't think, because you know they wait for you to run out. I'm not sure if the enemy will be able to hear the click of your gun while you're playing multiplayer, but that would be bad. If they hear that click and go, right, he's got no bullets, he's in the middle of reloading, I'm going to just run in and finish him off. So lots of things to consider rather than just sort of running and gunning and hoping for the best. I'm a terrible shot by the looks of it. No, there he goes, dropped him. And that's what I like as well. It doesn't take a whole heap of bullets to get rid of the enemy. Slow, deliberate firing is the aim of the day here. But then at the same time, you're going to be the recipient of only a couple of bullets before you've been taken out as well. Look at that bloke before when I went to stab him. One shot and I was all done. So I've dropped the smoke in. The observer's helped me there. If I get too far away from the observer, I can't drop the smoke. So you've got to be near him to be able to call that sort of stuff in. I'm assuming there's explosive artillery and stuff like that too that you can choose. Again, they all cost points. So coming for a bit of a wander around here. Realise I can't jump this at all, which I'm a bit bothered by that, because he's a soldier. They train for stuff like that, I imagine. It's only a little complaint. Shouldn't complain too much. I haven't played it properly yet, but I thought that was odd. I thought you should be able to climb over that sort of thing, and you can vault over some stuff. Maybe that was just considered too high. I get a bit caught here because I've got the thing to call the smoke in. Oh no, it comes up a bit later, just after I get rid of this bloke, I think, or just a bit after. So I kind of like that they don't know where you are if you're flanking them. But then I did take a shot at him. Did he have enough time to turn around and register that I was there or not? I hate when you're playing a game like this, you come around a corner and they all seem to know you're there even though you haven't fired a shot. That sort of annoys me a little bit. And this might go the opposite way a bit by the looks of it, in that either he wasn't intent on heading towards me and he was still heading towards the house, or he just ignored me when I took the shot at him and then I managed to hit him anyway. So as you can see, a lot of spaces to be able to move to and from, sort of in cover, out of cover. I don't think you're going to be wanting to run around out of cover too much if you're playing multiplayer, I wouldn't have thought, because you're not going to last long. So just coming through again to set up the next lot of soldiers to come through, or a vehicle, I think it is, on this bit. This is a rifle range, so there's a lot of weapons down the bottom as well that I can choose from: sniper rifles, submachine guns, shotguns, all that sort of stuff. I've only stuck with this one at the moment just to try and get the hang of what it does, and I've noticed the differences between burst fire and single fire. As you saw, the single fire, I was able to deal with those blokes fairly successfully, didn't need to do much to be able to take them out. Burst mode at that distance was a bit sort of too much recoil to be able to be accurate, which is fair, I suppose. I'm just going to head back the way I went, and I got carried away here because I had the smoke out for some reason, and then realised that I couldn't call it in because the observer wasn't close enough to be able to call it. So I should have really been shot by this bloke, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, are their reactions too slow? Are they a bit too forgiving? I would have thought that I would have been taken out at this point, but I don't know what I'm doing there. I was thinking I'll put some smoke down. I wasn't expecting him there. He's taken a shot at me and seems to have missed, and pays for it dearly. So as you can see, the burst mode worked really well there. It sort of went from his chest up to his head, and that put an end to his shenanigans. Whereas at the distance with the burst fire, it wasn't as good an option. So that's good that you've got to be able to choose between what you're going to do there. It's not just one thing does all. So I've got to work out what I'm going to do here. I thought I had a grenade, but I didn't. I've got the Panzerfaust, and again, I'm still trying to work out, but then I'm not reading that thing that says I need an observer nearby. I've got to be careful. I can't just step out in front of this truck because that'll be it. I'll be done. So at some point I remember I've got the Panzerfaust. There we go. I wasn't sure this was going to work. I thought, will it drop? What will it do? And that was a surprise. I was pretty happy with that, actually. I suppose it works as it should. It was only a technical. It wasn't armoured. And it's done. It's finished. So there's no other men there that I can see. There's been a big explosion, so if anyone was there, they would have heard it, except for this bloke, who is intent on climbing that wall too. And I'm shooting terribly, and as you heard that click there, I'd run out of bullets. The Desert Eagle doing its job once it gets on target. I like that. I like that you can shoot and you know that you've got them. That's it. It's done. Unless you miss like I was. It'd be interesting to see the time when you're playing against other people as well. If they've got that reaction I've missed, have they got the reactions to be able to turn around and shoot quickly? But then remembering, moving left and right, you move slower as well, so you're not going to be as quick to be able to do that. Or the fancy stuff like getting prone while someone's shooting at you. I don't think you'll have the time to be able to do that sort of stuff. I could be wrong though, but I doubt it. Unless the person's having a real nightmare of a game. So I'm calling a helicopter in here because I want to see how that sort of goes and what this weapon's like against it. And again, vehicles are things to be feared in here by the looks of it, because they're not very forgiving when they start to fire at you. I was trying to work out where it was coming from. There it is. And this is a terrible shot. And as you can see, they're very quickly taken out of the game. I think I'm going to enjoy this.